So here we are. An experiment. Should be interesting. Let me open up the chat here. Um, well, I haven't done a live reading on Facebook in year and a half, maybe, because we had such a real problem with it before. People were not playing by the rules. So leaving it to the side, that was good. That was good. I have done some other things. I'm now really on TikTok most of the time, but I'm also on YouTube. And so what we're trying is for this to be joint, live on Facebook and also on YouTube, because people still do need those free readings on occasion. So catching up with you, especially YouTube, if you don't know who I am. Basically, I've been reading since 1973, and I am a certified tarot master, past life specialist, psychic medium, and channel. This is my full-time job. I've been professional since 94. I've been doing it full-time since 9/11. What happened on 9/11 is we watched the towers burn, and I turned to my husband and I said, I really do need to do this full time. People are going to need to know there are other answers out there. So I did. And I left a job as an executive recruiter, making something like $70,000 a year, which in 2001 was not bad money, and went from there. So I'm going to try and go on my Facebook page and see if there's anything cooking there. Okay, switch there. There's the live. And I think that people basically are not used to seeing me back online. And that's fine. That's fine. How do I do readings online? Let's talk about that. A lot of people say, can I have a card, please? And yeah, I do that now. I don't particularly love it because it can be very vague, and I'd rather give you something of value. So if I pull one card, I can say, well, this card means such and such. And if I get a particular hit on you, I will let you know. But in the meantime, if you can come up with a good question, that's important. Okay. OBX lover, hey trans. Hi. Not sure who trans is. Certainly not me. But background, theater major in Brown, married to my husband for almost 25 years. Hi, Sanaya. Forgive me if I mispronounced it. And he's really very supportive, which is pretty wonderful. He and I are very, very different people. For 23 years, he was the museum director for a Revolutionary War site and dealt in verifiable historical fact, and I deal in WikiWoo. But we managed to make it work for each other. We're very supportive. He makes, am I gay? Ha! Oh, my darling. So not. So not. I know that Elspeth, who is Natalie, who knows me for a million years, is probably laughing hysterically too. Because if there's anybody in the world who would never have been picked as gay, it was me. On the other hand, I am a Rev, non-denominational minister, and I did that because before it was the law of the land, if people batted for the same team and wanted sacred ceremony, by God, I was going to do it. Because to me, love is love. It doesn't, you can choose whatever you want to do with it as long as it's consensual, doesn't scare the cats and dogs. It's fine. It's fine. Who did I vote for? These days, my darling, that is not safe to say one way or t'other. Hi, Radhika. So let's see. Yeah, it's good to be back. It took me a while because I needed a break from the really, really rude ones. I did. And by giving myself those boundaries and doing self-care, I brought myself back to center. One of the other things you'll notice, there's a little thing about tips or kindness. Everyone was saying, why isn't your Venmo up there? Well, if you want to, $1 or $2, that's fine. It certainly isn't. If you don't, I won't read you. But people say these days it's what folks do. Venmo, buy me a coffee. Okay, fine. Whatever. And OBX Lover is totally convinced I'm gay. No. In fact, my dear friend, I am going to show you why the hell you are as wrong as you could possibly be. And I'm laughing. So let's pull up my own website. And you get to see the wonderful reason why gay is ridiculous for me. That's my husband. 2002. We still can't pass each other in the house without smooching. So nice try, but no. I think it's funny. I'm certainly not offended. I was a theater major at Brown University, and I was acting in New York in the late 80s and early 90s. My darlings, if you do not embrace the gay community, half of your business is gone. Half of the people you will act with are gone. And frankly, one of my best girlfriends was named Ed Makovsky. He is no longer with us, but he was one of my ride or dies down in Atlanta in the 90s. So you can't hurt my feelings by saying, oh, you got to be gay. I'll laugh at you and say, you may think that if you wish. So anyway, if people have reading questions, you're allowed to put them in. And see what's up. Sanaya says, I got glasses. These readers.com, I'm telling you, it's wonderful. I used to, before my cataract surgery, 21,000, 1,200, literally almost couldn't take a shower without my contact lenses in. Now I can see far away. It's great, but the nearsighted, the nearsight goes. So after paying $400, $500 for 8 pair of glasses, now see this? This entire thing is full of all different colored glasses, and I love doing it that way. So anyway, all right. So questions, how I do it for those of you who are new at this. Basically, it's house, car, job, finances. You want to know about a past life, I can probably pull that. Spirit guides. I don't do mediumship. I don't do dead people publicly because I don't censor what I get. And sometimes it's terribly personal and it's not fair to put the person who's asking about it on the spot where they have to deal with their emotions because they're hearing from dead Aunt Mabel. And health questions, that's simply being a professional intuitive. I can sort of do it, but I would always recommend to you my buddy Stacy Wells, who is the best medical intuitive in the US. She can literally see into your DNA. She's seen brain tumors people have missed. She saw my cancer before the doctors did. She is the best. Absolutely the best. So if you've got a serious health question, go to her. She is at, I'm going to put it here. She is at stacywells.com. And I can't say enough good things about her. So, all right. Somebody throw me a question. What do you need to know tonight, darlings? Hey, Lori P. So, throw one. Look, Nat's one of my regulars. Lori is one of my regulars. Radhika knows me. Let's get the questions going, my darlings. What you need to know. We've got all the decks here tonight. For people who don't know, I work with a lot more than just tarot. I've got all my oracle decks too. And occasionally I will do some numerology for you. Now, the Corby Midline Psychic Gift 5 through Spirit, that's my friend Elspeth. Those were kind of the older rules, Elspeth. At this point, I've learned that if they just give me their name, and it's nice if they tell me where they're from, that's plenty. That's plenty. So, all right. Elspeth, I'm going to make you give me a question if nobody is dropping one in the feed here. So, if people have never had tarot done before, let me give you that rookie rule. There are 3 cards that weird out rookies. Death, the Devil, and the Tower. Ah, we have some coming up. Okay. There we go. Joanne, what do my spirit guides have for me? Okay. Spirit guides, it takes me a minute to connect. Interestingly, for you, I'm seeing someone literally, remember how we used to have to climb ropes in gym class? Well, this person is coming down a rope. They look like they have Middle Eastern clothing. And it is female. This is not like Jasmine in Atlanta in Aladdin. This is more like Tuareg, one of the nomadic types. And they were very self-sufficient. And so the fact that she's climbing down the rope to me says also she's going to have a lot more communication with you. She's making her vibe come down more easily for you to get to. And I'm hearing her name is Khalia, Khalia. And what she is telling me is that when you are a nomad, you learn how to get through rough terrain without a lot of supplies and a good sense of direction. So my sense for you, Joanne, is if things get a little rough this year, as they may for a lot of us, she's going to be very close at hand for you. Like she says, not great supplies, a hard road. She will be there for you. Again, her name is Khalia, Khalia. Middle Eastern clothing. Look up what the Tuareg women look like. I'm going to put it down here. I believe that's how they're spelled. And she's going to be a guide that's with you for, I think, at least a couple of good years. Nat, would my upcoming move to another state be permanent or temporary? I'm feeling nervous about it. Nat, if you can tell me what the state is, I will be able to focus a little bit more easily. So just drop that in the comment, Nat. Lori, everyday tour bus stuff, house car, job, kids, finances, past lives, spirit guides, that kind of thing. Okay, Texas. All right. Surprisingly, Texas may be a good spot for you. Communication and learning. When I ask, is it permanent or temporary? The card depends on if you love it. You can stay there, but you really are going to have to love Texas. Yankee that I am, it's an acquired taste. But you can stay there if you want to, but you would have to tell the universe and whoever you're working for, yeah, I really want to stay. Otherwise, New York City will always have open arms for you. Sarah, will my father and I live closer together? Okay. It's a little bit of a risk, Sarah. I don't know whether it's one of you really doesn't want to move and would have to be kind of pried out a little bit. He's going to piss and moan and complain. Notice that this is the yes dear card, holding his mouth gently shut. Not that you don't allow him to complain, but I think that this is someone that has to have it perfect or they're not happy, and it is not going to be perfect. So, final card. This is a karmic situation. If he wants to be closer to you, yes, but you can't pull him. You can't pull the horse to the water. The horse has to go to the water to drink themselves. Veronica, what should I be focusing on to improve at work? I'll be starting a new shift line. Same role, just different days that I haven't worked before. All right, for that, I'm going to pull the Zen cards because they usually are pretty good at that. No thingness is not as weird as you think. What that is remain open to all changes. Second, past lives card came up. And interestingly, Radhika, I see you. This is Victorian England, and you were working in a mill, and you were kind of mother henning everybody else to make sure that they were good, but you kept slipping and you kept messing up your job, so you got fired. So the most important thing is make sure that you take care of you first. It's not being selfish, it's self-preservation. Third is tuning in. If your gut says something's off, trust it. Don't rationalize it away. All right. For instance, if you felt like you were having trouble with a particular person that you're working with or who is working under you, address it immediately. Compassionate, kind, but firm. That's how I think it's gonna work for you. Let's see. Michelle Manor-Hawken. Will I get a promotion at work before retiring next year? Let's take a look. If you are as good as I think you are, yes. It may be a smallish promotion, but it feels like a gold watch promotion, if you know what I mean. They know you're retiring, or they suspect. And so it's kind of a pat on the back sort of thing. You're not going to be made CFO or anything like that. I think that you're going to retire next year on a high. Let's put it that way. Who else, darling? See, I love doing this. I really do. You know, when I do the heavy duty hour readings, yeah, they're great. But these are fun. This is how I get to know a lot of you. By the way, you will want to go to the website, CorbyMitline.com, because in February, I'm going to be doing a lot of specials on romance readings. Okay, Wendy, you're listening to this. Let me put, this is my website. And so starting February 1st is when those specials work. All right, so Wendy wants to know, will Chip come back? I'm going to pull 5 cards on this, Wendy. You, Chip, the relationship as it stands, what you need to know, and best possible outcome. You, victory through teamwork. It's very important that you don't have to do a relationship alone. Chip wants what Chip wants, and if Chip doesn't get what Chip wants, he's gone. The two of you, it's what was the value. Current, there was a possibility for a long-term relationship. Now, this could mean, yes, he's coming back, but this card has a secondary meaning besides wishes fulfilled. It is called be careful what you wish for, because you're going to get it. If he comes back and there is no change in how he treated you before, might not be great. Just telling you. Hey, Pam, I'm a widow. If someone special will come. See, now that's the where the hell is he question. We got that. All right, Pam, I'm going to look and take a look. I'm going to go month by month. We're going to be looking for kings. February, March, April, May, June. Okay, 2 possibilities this year. The one that I really like is in August. That's the King of Cups. He is divorced or widowed himself. He has grown children. But whatever happened to him did not make him bitter. It made him better at accessing his emotions. Definitely silver hair, nice, low, warm laugh. So he's good. The guy in November, oh, he's got money, but it's his way or the highway. Very much the little lady does what I tell her. You know, this is not Dick Van Dyke in 1963. So I think that the guy in August is a much better bet for you. Let's see, who else wants to play? So this is actually working pretty well. I don't know how many we're seeing where. It says I have 10 eyes on me, which is fine. When I do this on TikTok, it's insane. It's usually 100 to 200 people for the entire hour. At one point, I mean, the questions come like this, and I can't answer them all because they're scrolling so fast. I had over 1,700 questions in 1 hour. I mean, that's nuts. But it's the way TikTok works. You know, I am shocked at how instantly I rose on TikTok. I joined December 19th after years and years of saying, no, I don't read like that. But I have kind of given myself a newer persona, if you will. I'm still Corby, but I'm known as the no bullshit psychic. And of course, on TikTok, they love that. So I'm now up to a breath under 14,000 followers in like 5 weeks. Who does that? But it's, you know, okay, this is fine. And I have to admit, I love doing TikTok. So if you are on TikTok, let me put one of my captions. This is my TikTok. Okay. Notice it doesn't say Corby. It's the no bullshit P because there wasn't enough room for psychic. But go there, and I do a couple of videos every single day. I do every Thursday night there. Because I see, Lori, I'll get you a sec. Every other week is free reading hour, but the weeks in between, I do something called Cafe Corby. That's where I'm on the screen with you for an hour, but we don't do personal readings. We talk about general questions about metaphysics. How does this work? What is this? And it's also a time when you can ask me about me. And as long as I'm not going to be embarrassed by seeing the answer in public, I'll tell you. So that's why TikTok these days is so much fun. So really go on back. If you're on TikTok, great. Love to see you. Okay. So let's go back to questions. Done with the captions. Now we're going to go to chat. All right. So I'm on the fence about moving. Anything from guides? The guides are saying if there is something that you cannot have or get where you are, move. Now, whether that is you're just moving neighborhood to neighborhood and the place you're living doesn't have all these good stuff, then move, but move just to move. No, if you're moving for a job, yes, do it. But remember, it's really important to look at the neighborhoods, look at where you're living, because America is so fraught these days. It's not as easy as it was 30, 40 years ago, where you could just move in someplace and you know your neighbors. Elspeth and I were talking tonight, 50 years ago when I was in the SCA, we would do crash space. If you were going to an event, you'd crash on somebody's floor. But the SCA was much smaller then. Everybody knew everybody. Now the whole idea about, I'm going to let a stranger into my house, I'm not nuts. So that's the reflection of where we are in the world today. Check out the neighborhood first. If it feels good, you're okay. Kristen, will I find a better paying job? Let's see. I only need one card. That is the wishes fulfilled card. But as I always tell people, Kristen, that also is be careful what you wish for because you're going to get it. So you can have a better paying job, but make sure it is not going to drive you crazy. They're not going to micromanage you. They're not going to expect you to, bleed for them, basically. Nothing is worth that. Oh, cool. Can I do that here? What? Do what, Lori? I'm a little puzzled there. Explain me. Meanwhile, while I'm waiting for more questions, you will occasionally see a Maine Coon cat come tritzing across my screen. if I can't keep them out of the office. I have two. One of them is Prawn. Prawn is 8 years old. He's about 20 pounds, and he came over from a friend who is a breeder in England, so we refer to him as the Britain kitten who became a New Yorker. And our new kid is Kit Peak, otherwise known as the Rumpus Child. And he is 7 months old yesterday and is already 14, 15 pounds. He's going to be about 26 pounds and will need a pony cart. He is a ginger and white boy. Maine Coons are little dogs in cat suits. If you've never seen them, they are hilarious. They're social. They talk. They're very intelligent. So just the best of the best. All right, Teresa, my husband is worried that his company is merging and he'll lose his job. What's the story for him? I'm going to pull 3 cards. Okay. Vision Quest. Rest. I have a feeling that, yes, he may get laid off. And he's going to have to compete to find something else, but he'll find something he can do and do well. All right. The 4 usually is 4 weeks, 4 months, not 4 years. Since I don't know what he does or how old he is or where you're based, I can't give you a lot of other details. One of the, hold on one sec, guys. One of the things that my longtime peeps know is I used to be an executive recruiter for engineering and manufacturing, and I love career questions, but I like to give you the details based on what you tell me about the situation, because with that background, I look at the backstory. You know, mergers and acquisitions were huge in the late 80s, early 90s, and then again in the late 90s when I was working for a boutique firm down in Newburgh, New York. I don't think it's quite the same. The world is not the same as it was then. But my sense is that if he does lose his job, it is because the universe has something better in mind. Okay. 55 with an airline. His company is merging. So that means that an airline, I guess, is merging. My sense is if he's in the plane, he's safe. If he's a mechanic or peripheral, maybe not so much. Okay. He's 55 and works for the airlines. Yeah, I got that, Trace. Like I say, if he's a pilot, 55 does make it a little difficult. I know a little bit about that because my husband is a private pilot, not commercial. And one of my good friends, her husband is also a commercial pilot. I still get the feeling that they may lay him off, but I don't see him never working again. He will get something else. Okay. I wish I didn't have to say that, but the one thing that you will know about me is I will never fudge things. I will tell you what I have, but at the same time, I will remind you that even the best of us were only 85% accurate. The only one 100% accurate is God, and he's not doing live readings on YouTube tonight. So there's that. Operations agent. Yeah. Yeah. Like I say, if he's not in the airplane, I do see that. And operation agents, unfortunately, are one of the places they like to say, you know, we're consolidating. Pam, now, I know that a lot of you are doing a couple of questions tonight, and we have a very small audience, and I'm fine with that. But when things get nuts, please just do one. All right. Teresa, you're right. Better to be prepared. Will my daughter get her own class this year? She's working hard for it. Let's take a look. Yes, if she puts things together a little differently than the other teachers. See, I love the Temperance card. Look at the allegory. There is water going from cup to cup and not being spilled. That's your emotional mastery. And notice that he has 1 foot in the water and 1 foot on land. That is 1 foot in where you are and 1 foot in where you want to go. So the most important thing for her is she has to be unflappable. Okay. It's hard being a teacher these days, but you cannot let emotion get the better of her. If she can be serene, she has to be a duck. Ducks look fine on the surface. They're paddling like crazy underneath, but everybody sees just the duck. That's how she has to do it. That will get her her own class. Hey, Kathleen. For those of you who have seen me for years and years, the Venmo thing is literally it's a kindness. It is not an absolute. You don't have to pay to get a question here. But I never used to do that, and people kept beating on me, saying, everybody's doing this. Why aren't you? So, you want to throw me $1 or $2. It's wonderful. My cats say thank you very much, and we'll keep them in kitty nip and treats. But it is by no means necessary. Kathleen, been through a tough time, stuck. Can you do your talks here also? What do you mean by my talks, Lori? You mean like I do on TikTok? I'm putting them on the YouTube as well. So go to the YouTube, and you'll see them either in the videos or the shorts. But if I have things on TikTok, I try to put them also up on the YouTube page, and I'll pull things over from Instagram. I'm tending to stay a little bit away from Instagram now because it's Meta, and I'd rather do things with companies that aren't Meta. It's that simple. So, Kathleen, been through a tough time and stuck. Kathleen, for something like that, I'm going to pull 3 cards from my Zen deck. It's my philosophy deck. First thing, if you are feeling alone, find your tribe, darling. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to date anybody, but especially the way the world is going and the way the US is going now, you've got to have people that you can rely on. You need someone whose shoulder you can just lean against, not even cry on. So that's an absolute. Number 2, you have to let go of the control. Because some things we just have to deal with. When you run toward change instead of away from it, you control it a little better. That's part of it. And third, I'm going to tell you, allow yourself to be a little lazy. When I feel your energy, you're like this. You got to give yourself some breaks. You do. Sleep late. Something. Whatever it is that you can do to take care of yourself. I think that's going to be really, really important. Okay. As far as tough times, I want to recommend, and I'm going to put it in the chat, the books that helped me get through 3 bouts of breast cancer, 2 divorces, and the death of my parents. And they may be very helpful. To love is to be happy with, and happiness is a choice. They are both by Barry Neil Kaufman. The other book I'm going to suggest, frankly, is my own, if I can find it. It's called Clean Out Your Life Closet. I'll put that here. And it deals with 4 things. Clarity, adaptability, simplicity, and making friends with stress. And I don't tell you, do everything I tell you when it all gets better, because no, it doesn't. It's, here are your opportunities and how to grab them. Here's the tough stuff. Here's how to get through or around it. Here's your toolbox. And at the end of each chapter, I give you questions so that you can go back and reflect on your own life. It's not, you have to do everything that it says on page 82. And I'll tell you why. I remember the first paragraph of the first self-help book I ever bought at age 13. So this is 1968. It's going to be very archaic languages. Gotcha, Layla. Let me finish the story and I'm on you. Mary has a groovy wardrobe. Her makeup is fab and her hair is far out. Told you this is the 60s. But nobody likes her because she's fat. Right there in that first paragraph, every kid who read that book was told, you're worthless unless you're skinny. And that's what most self-help books do, and mine will not. Mine tells you you've got your own story to tell. And as long as you know what that story is, you're solid. Okay. All right, Layla. Let me see. Spirit guides. All right. This is a woman. She's all in blue. Long dark hair in braids. And blue eyes. Interesting. So this is, I guess, Black Irish. She's standing in a wood by a stream, and she's watching the fish. And it's not like she wants to catch one to eat, but she's waiting for the fish to talk to her. She gives her name as Una, U-N-A, not like Una Chin Riley on Star Trek. This is a different Una. And the fact that she is watching the fish, waiting for them to talk to her, what I'm getting is there is someone that you're going to meet who's Pisces that's going to have some very, very interesting information for you. Remember, Pisces is around February 22nd to March 22nd. So there's somebody new going to come into your life, a Pisces, not necessarily a romantic thing, but someone who's going to be important to you and give you some really, really important information. Watch for that. Let's see. Where am I? Lori asked, am I doing any events this year? I'm doing the Winter Witches Festival at the Western Golf Course in Albany, Groveland this weekend, Friday and Saturday, 11 to 5, or Saturday and Sunday, 11 to 5. And I will be doing the Mind, Body, Soul Expo again up in Saratoga, which is in April. And you'll see those on my website. Let's see. I can't find my key. What the heck did I do with it? Holly, I apologize, but I suck at finding things. It's like I said, if a professional psychic, if they don't do something, they should tell you and not tell you. I'm lousy. I lose my keys. I lose my glasses. So I am not your girl to ask for things like that. I apologize. Teresa Campbell said, wow. And her hair's on fire. Not sure. Okay. Benjamin, hi, you're new. As it says at the bottom, I do not do mediumship here. And this is why. Because I don't just say, yeah, she's there and she loves you. You have full conversations with them. And sometimes things are very, very sensitive. All right, I'm going to share the story, which explains why I don't do mediumship, okay? So nobody can take offense at this. Pinky swear you're not, because this is a real story. Years ago, there was a biracial same-gender couple. The black partner had died. Her white widow wanted to speak to her. See this face? Nice kid from Cherry Hill, New Jersey. I have manners. But what came out of my mouth in flawless urban ebonics was, well, shit, it ain't my white bitch. And I'm going, oh my God. But the woman in front of me started laughing hysterically, because that is how her partner Isabel walked into the house after every business trip. That was her signature line. Now, when it's one-on-one with somebody, yeah, I can do that. You can't do that on a stage with 200 people who do not know you and do not know you're not screwing around. So that's why, Benjamin, I am more than happy to do mediumship for you, but it has to be on a one-on-one with me. So, Teresa, I am so to the point. Thank you. That's why I am now the no bullshit psychic. Because, the reason I didn't want to go on TikTok was because there's a lot of bullshit psychics on there. And I didn't want to just be one of those. But when I realized, nope, I don't have to do that. I can be absolutely who I am. And there isn't anybody else like me on there, which is probably one of the reasons I have almost 14,000 followers at this point. And I don't just do readings. A lot of it is pep talks, mentoring, teaching you to read yourself, because my mantra is, I'm not special. You can do what I do. You can. And if I can teach you how, then maybe someday what we do isn't going to be so weird to a lot of people because they'll realize everybody's got it. Hi, Sheila. It's nice. Now I'm seeing names of people I know. This is really good. All right. Marcia Taylor. Will my oldest son find a job anytime soon? The perennial mom question. Hang on, Marcia. Weeks, months, weeks. 1, 2. In 2 weeks, I think something is going to come across that is a little different than he's looking for, but it may work. 3, 4, 5. 5 weeks, victory through teamwork. I think he's going to interview and they'll like him. And by 6 weeks, off he goes into this new job. So it won't be that long. I think 6 weeks at most. Let's see. Who else? Okay. Did I miss anybody else's questions? I don't think so. All right. Again, for will you come to Michigan anytime soon? Holly, my darling, in order for me to come to Michigan, I would have to have work lined up because remember, I'm in upstate New York. Going to Michigan would cost me minimum $1,000, whether it's train, plane, car, plus where am I going to stay, plus, where am I going to set up shop? So if you want to see me live, do a Zoom with me. Now here's something. I do psychic parties via Zoom. You want to get 6 of your friends together? We will do a Zoom party and everybody gets 15 minutes or half an hour, whatever you do. So that is possible. I don't have to come all the way to Michigan to do that for you. So let me see. Sheila Frozen. Anyone else? Thank you. Natalia, will my counterpart M come in to reconcile before spring? Wait a minute. Did I catch Layla's question? If Layla was about a spirit guide, I think I did her. You got to ask her. So let me do Natalia while I'm winning. Will my counterpart come in to reconcile before spring? That's a simple yes or no. And it's 50-50, believe it or not. Look at him juggling. There are some ideas. Maybe, maybe not. They haven't made a decision yet. What's going to kick it loose is I'm seeing this and I'm seeing practicality of time. Okay. If this person is not slammed with everything else. Okay. So Natalia, will they want union by spring, reconcile? They haven't decided yet. They really haven't. They're bouncing on a lot of other things. They're trying to multitask and they're not good at it. So in order to really give you the time and the thought that you deserve, it's going to have to wait until they can get themselves together. So good. All right. Will the doctor figure out what's wrong with my day? Sheila, darling, says no health, but I'm going to put it back in here. Hang on. Stacy Wells is my buddy who's the best medical intuitive in the U.S. See if you can get a session with her. I think the doctor is going to want to do a whole raft of tests to see if he can figure it out. But I don't think he's going to know just like that. Rep lying to Layla. What? No. Oh, replying. I'm thinking rep lying. You're not lying. No, replying to Layla. Oh, okay, that's fine. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anyway, how are we doing? All right, so it's about 8:50. We have about 15 more minutes. So one of the things that I want to tell you about is we are doing past life, present, and future, the 3 Fates galleries, and we do them on Zoom. What's that? That's 2 hours with myself for past lives, Tiffany Butler for present channelings, Chris, the Blue Rose Mystic, for future predictions. We only have 30 people ever in our group so that everybody gets a reading. And like I said, we do them on Zoom. If you go on Facebook, look for the 3 Fates. I think it's the 3 Fates 333. And you'll see when we're doing our next ones. I think we're doing 2 of them in February. So what else? What else are we doing? Trying to think of what else I can tell you about what's going on. I'm being very weirded out because, believe it or not, 70 in March. The old 70. And I'm looking at the calendar. I'm saying, who fucked with it? You see, when you've never had kids, which I have not deliberately, you're just the biggest kid in the room. And the calendar sneaks up on you. So I've been trying to figure out what I want to do for my 70th birthday. If any of you want to make suggestions, that's cool. Because it's the last big birthday I really want to have to do. I want to be, much older, but that's the last one I want to be really public about. So I don't know what to do. How does February look for my Elspeth? Who wants to play with her? All right, Elspeth, you get my journey cards. Goddess of the Moon, 2 things. Intuition, and if you're not in menopause, you may have some PMS, perennial monster syndrome this month. Be nice to people. Angel of Love, whether that's someone for you or someone needs you. 3rd, contract. You and I were talking about possible changes. Start getting that paperwork together because I think someone will pounce with all the good meanings. Man holding it. There's somebody for you out there. And I think you're going to be surprised because you may meet them or at least do this at them in February. Yes. Can I ask, do my guides have any messages for me feeling stuck? And that's why I'm thinking of moving. You still need to be in water, around water, Lori. It's almost like if you're going to move around to Buffalo, move near the Great Lakes. Being in a landlocked city is not going to be good for you at all. So I would say you got to move where there's water. You really do. That's from your guides. Want to meet up at City Line in Albany, New York. We would all enjoy meeting and sharing your day. Where is City Line, Pam? I wouldn't say no to that, but tell me what it is. Is that bar? Restaurant? What? Okay. Tell you what, Pam. Drop me a line. This is my email for people. And let's talk about it. Now, I don't mind traveling into Albany. It's the old 45 weekends a year, 45,000 miles on the car. No. How can my boyfriend find career change into the law enforcement field? Whew, that's tough these days. That's a card that says marriage. Now, I cannot say he has to marry you, then he'll be great. The card would like me to say that, but no. But he does need to look at the law enforcement as a partnership, and he has to love it. He can't go into it with any other feeling, but emotionally he feels that's where he belongs, or it's a broken heart, but it would be a good choice for him. So he really needs to be able to explain in cogent paragraphs why he wants to do this. I have a feeling when people see his true passion and potential for it, doors will open. So that's where we are. Across from SUNY campus, down Western Ave from Stuyvesant. Oh, that's easy. That's easy. All right, drop me a note and let's discuss. We can probably make that happen. Can I ask for insight from my guides? I've had a whirlwind of time these past 2 months. Thank you. Sure, Ben. Hold on one second. Well, Ben, you have 3 or 4 or 5. They all have wings, so you've got a passel of angels. And it's interesting. They're arguing back and forth. They remind me of the movie 1776, where everybody in Congress is arguing and talking and back and forth and back and forth. So I think if you've had a whirlwind of a time lately, it's because your guides really want to help you, but they're trying to figure out the best way to do it. Not that they're not talking to you. So let me tell people. Remember, I always say you can do what I do. This is the book that I learned to do my channeling with. It's called Opening to Channel, How to Connect with Your Guides, and it's by Sanaya Roman and Dwayne Packer. It is still in publication. I highly, highly recommend that you pick that up, because you can talk to your guides yourself. You don't need me. You don't need to pay somebody to do it. And it will teach you how to ground, center, and shield, which in this fraught world of ours is really good for keeping yourself psychically protected. Okay. Let's see. Jen, will my finances get back on track this year? Let's see. Yes, if. Notice this guy is holding tight to his money. So your finances can get back on track, but you are really going to have to put pedal to the metal in terms of paying down debt, learning how not to splurge. You know, well, frankly, if the tariffs really do happen, none of us are going to splurge. But I have a little sign by my desk, and it says BYS, little arrow, TARM. Before you spend, think. Ask, do I really need it? Does it serve me? Remember your goals. Make a conscious choice. So, yes, you can get back on track with them, but you're going to have to show your guides you really mean the effort. Let's see, where else are we? Can I ask a question from my guides and angels about my feelings of wanting to switch companies today? That's your gut. It's not your gut. That's your gut. Trust it. But the thing that I will tell you, and I'm putting on my old executive recruiter hat, run toward change. Don't run away from where you are. You say that your job is steady at the moment. Ask yourself, what is it that's missing from it? Okay. And if you're looking to other companies, do some back research so you can go in there and talk like you know these companies. Okay. What I used to say, don't know if it would work anymore, is you find the person that you would work for, you know, your first upline, and they're the one you send your resumes to with a cover letter. Dr. McAllister, I've been studying International Widget. I see that you're doing XYZ. This is why I could come in and do ABC for you. I'm enclosing my CV. We'll call next week to discuss possibilities. The reason I say that is you look proactive, not reactive. You're not just, cattle call answering an ad. But you got to really know the companies that you're going to write to in order to do that. Let's see. All of my relationships in my life are stressing me out. I'm tired of everyone. Any advice? Feel like I'm the problem, which I very well could be. Let's see. I'm thinking, Redden. I think that even if it is you, I think you need to learn how to ground, center, and shield. You're probably an empath. And we feel emotions way more than most people do. We feel the nuance of them. And you've got to learn how to put your boundaries up so that you can be in an area. When you learn how to shield well energetically, it's like you're the hamster in the little rolly ball and the dog and the cat can't get you as you go rolling around the living room. That's what it can do. So again, look at opening to channel. Give yourself the protection, and I think you're going to be okay with people. Jackie. Oh, now Jackie's one of my nestlings. What's a nestling? if you want to learn from me on a regular basis, and Jackie, you can weigh in on this in the talk. I teach once a month. I do it through Patreon. I teach you everything I know. If I don't know something, I'll very often bring in teachers. We just had Pat Dumas, who is just the most amazing astrologer this month. We're going to have Catherine Knock, who is an amazing animal communicator from England, and she comes in and teaches my nestlings as well. So what I'm going to tell you, Jackie, is because you're a nestling, you have permission to contact me separately and ask that question. That's part of what nestlings get to do. Don't worry about that. All right. We are coming up on about done. So if you folks are on TikTok, I'm going to tell you to look for me tomorrow night. I will be doing stuff on TikTok. There it is. Now remember, it's at most we had 13 people here. We're going to have literally 100 to 200 there. It's not going to be as casual as this, and I'm going to be, like this. I won't have time to chat. But if you want to chat with me, make sure that you follow me on TikTok. And every other Thursday, we do Cafe Corby, which is where I don't do readings for people, but we talk about spirituality, metaphysics, anything you want to know on that. And it's kind of like sitting around with a drink at the bar. Okay? So, the last card for tonight, broken heart. What's happening in the world is terrifying. I get it. But don't have a broken heart about it, because things need to change. And change can sometimes be very hard. But when we all come out of this, and we will, America will look very different. But then Germany looked very different after World War II and became a wonderful, strong, liberal powerhouse. Okay? So we will get through this together as tribe. I promise you that. I will always tell you the truth about what I see. Thanks for showing up tonight. Hopefully we'll see you over on TikTok from here on. Okay?